Recording in progress.
And showtime. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Channel Pro 5-Minute Roundup. A look at news, trends, and tips for the SMB channel in 5 minutes or thereabouts. My name is Rich Freeman. I am executive editor of the Channel Pro Network, also a co-host of this program. I am joined side by side, physically side by side this week by your other co-host, Erick Simpson, a business transformation and improvement advisor to MSPs and other IT providers. Erick? How you doing?
Doing well, Rich. Doing really well, actually, after, meeting you here in this humid part of the world.
So, as you are watching or listening to this, folks, in real time, I am someplace very sunny, soaking up rays. I'm on vacation. This is actually the second week in a row that Erick and I are recording from the Ingram Micro Cloud Summit in Miami. We are pre-recording this episode because we know you don't want to go a week without the 5-minute roundup. So we've got this bonus episode all lined up for you. I'm off somewhere sipping cocktails someplace warm. Now, Erick, we're going to base this conversation on a presentation that you just made to some of the attendees here at the Cloud Summit. So I'm going to let you set things up just in terms of what you were presenting to your audience about, and then we'll kind of get into how we want to spin that a little bit for purposes of the 5-minute roundup.
Let's roll. So my presentation was focused on Ingram Micro's vendors. So room full of vendors that came in, and I was asked to come in and present on the topic of partnering with MSPs to sell together successfully. So the things that a vendor can do along with their MSP partners to grow sales together. And so that's what my session was all about.
So you came at that from a vendor point of view. You had vendors in the audience. So here's what you need to do to be more successful with your channel partners. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to do it the other way around. You're talking to an audience of channel partners. What do they need to do to be more successful with their vendors?
Great. And during my session, I actually talked about the shared responsibility and the shared accountability that both partners in this relationship have to agree to. So there are a couple of things. So the first thing is we want to make sure that our goals are aligned. So what I shared with the audience was creating a sales strategy with your MSP channel partners that aligns with their business goals. Now, as we know, Rich, MSPs are unique in terms of every other type of IT provider. They want to deliver services basically within a box that they can standardize their processes around, that they can bundle and price with a high percentage of their services, realizing recurring revenue. And they want to sell very consultatively and very stickily, if that's a word, with their customers to grow that client lifetime value. So aligning goals together. So the vendor's goals and the MSP goals have to align in terms of where the MSP is going in terms of their growth. What services and solutions do they want to add to their stack, or perhaps determine whether they want to replace an existing solution with another vendor's product or services, number one. Number two, it has to have a high percentage of revenue be recurring revenue to be as attractive as possible to the MSPs, right? Sure, there's vendors out there that sell point products and solutions, Rich, but if you really want to grab that MSP's attention, recurring revenue is the magic word, right? A couple of other things then. So building sales plans to confirm commitment to each other. So what is it that the vendor partner is going to commit to ensure the success of the partnership with the MSP? And this can take the form of many things. Sales training and enablement, marketing development funds, assistance with teaming for complex solutions with other partners, competencies and certifications. What is it that vendor partner is going to commit to help that partnership succeed? And then on the flip side, what is the MSP also going to agree to commit to make this a reality. So they will then agree to things like, yes, we will put our sales and technical team through this enablement training. We will get these certifications. We will conduct marketing activities in order to qualify for MDF funds. We will agree to having strategic meetings to ensure that we are being objective about our progress and we can make adjustments along the way in order to achieve our objectives for success. And those objectives need to be clearly defined. We want to grow the presence of solution XYZ within your customer channel and new prospects, Mr. and Mrs. MSP. And so the goal is very clear. We design a sales plan around it. We agree to the commitments and the shared accountability between each party. We go to market together, and then we measure our performance on a regular basis so that we can tweak and tune to make sure that we're maximizing our outcomes and we're building stickiness and more trust and confidence together to allow us to even grow that relationship even further.
So a number of really interesting things there that come to mind for me. And, first of all, the good vendors out there, good vendors and distributors out there will, on a regular basis, through a partner account manager, say, get in touch with their partners and really try to understand, where is your business going? Where are the aspirations, the goals? Where are the pain points, and so on? I think part of what you're talking about is it's probably a good idea for the channel pros out there to ask the same questions of their most strategic and important vendors and distributors. What are your priorities? What are the things that you are looking to do? Searching for those areas of alignment, basically, and also just to kind of understand behaviors and actions you can take that will be most appreciated by your partners. At the end of the day, you need to be most concerned about your customers, obviously, and what they need and want. But if there are things that you can do that will make you stand out more, make you more valuable to your partners, that will ultimately pay off for you and the vendors and distributors as well. So taking the time to ask them the questions that they should be asking you, I think, is a really smart idea. And then, as you talk about commitments, Erick, what comes to mind, I've written a lot of articles through the years about vendors that are either launching a new partner program or revamping an existing one. And they will always make a point of saying that we really want to invest our resources in the partners who are most invested in us. And that really comes down to this idea of commitment. And that's something that you articulate as much as anything else. At the end of the day, it's the amount of business that you're actually doing that's going to show that you're committed. But having that conversation with them, reaching agreement on things that you are committed to do with them, going to market, that's what's going to show you are invested in growing together with that company. And the more you do that, I think the more they're going to be invested in you and look to you as one of their go-to partners.
And absolutely, Rich. And the operative word, that we've been, mentioning over and over is partner and partnership, right? So it works both ways. It's got to work for the benefit of both parties. And each party has to believe that they're being taken care of in that relationship, right? That's what influences and motivates the other party to go that extra mile, right? To do the extra things and say, look, come into this special program that we're developing, and here's what we will do. And we want to grow together. And from a vendor's perspective, my guidance today was, hey, understand what the drivers are for an MSP. What's going to be interesting to them in order to earn their trust and confidence, because that's a big one. Is that trust and confidence. And sometimes it takes, a couple of rounds to really earn it, where you as the MSP can feel good about sharing sales plans, maybe even some financial data from a performance perspective, with your vendor partner as you build sales plans together and agree to sit there and go through these performance reviews. So what we're talking about here really are QBRs between you and your vendor partner, just like you're having or should be having with your clients. You know as well as I do, Rich, that the best relationships are the ones that are consistently working together to evaluate what's happening and then to talk about new ideas, these QBRs, these strategic meetings, so that we're looking after each other, right? It's two-way street. So there's a give and there's a get.
All right. Well, you know what, folks? That leaves us with time for just one more story this week. And ordinarily, we would pull something from the news here, but we didn't actually get a chance to talk about that before we recorded, and anything we talked about would be outdated anyway. So, how about a little small world story from real life? Eric and I, again, we're at the Cloud Summit as we record this. Eric and I both flew in separately yesterday. Eric from Southern California, me from Seattle. We both changed planes in Atlanta before coming into Miami. Both boarded a flight. 2-3 hours later, when the plane arrived in Miami, we both got up to exit the flight and discovered that we were sitting across the aisle from each other on the same row on the same plane. And somehow or another, we had managed to board this flight. We must have been milling around the gate, boarded the flight, spent close to 3 hours aloft, and not realized, forget that we're on the same flight, we're a few seats apart. Didn't know until we were actually getting off the plane.
Well, I got to say, Rich, I'm not my old travel self anymore, right? I'm to myself. I'm wearing a mask. I'm not looking at anybody. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm there on a mission. So, yeah, we were sitting completely, I think we were even in the same seats on the opposite side of the aisle. I was in a window and you're in a window.
Correct.
So you can't fault us for not looking around and, trying to make smiley faces at everybody. But yeah, it was, I got up and I'm like, oh my goodness, you were on the same flight the whole time and we didn't even know.
Very, very strange, folks, but that's life on the road for you. These things happen. And that is all the time we have for you this week on the 5-Minute Roundup. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back again with another episode for you. You know what? We are both a video and a podcast these days. So if you're like me and you're into podcasts, you want to check us out that way, just go to wherever you get your other podcasts, whether that's Google or Apple or Stitcher or Spotify. You're going to find us there. Please, if you could take a few extra seconds to subscribe, rate, and review, we would very much appreciate it. If you're listening to the podcast, but you would like to see the video now and again, easiest way to do that is to go to the ChannelPro Network channel on YouTube. There is another opportunity for you to become a subscriber there. And if you click the little bell icon, you'll even get notified when the new episodes go up. If you haven't had a chance yet to read any of my reporting from the Ingram Micro Cloud Summit, all of that is still available, along with all sorts of other great stuff that goes up daily that you can utilize to grow your business at ChannelProNetwork.com. And if you want to learn more about Erick and the work he does with his clients, you should visit ErickSimpson.com. That is ERICK Simpson.com. So once again, folks, we thank you very much for joining us on the 5-Minute Roundup. Please enjoy the rest of your week. Erick and I are enjoying the rest of your week
already.